This is a $371 sake. Costs $27 per shot. That's like the price of 5 Big Macs. But is it worth it when you can buy the same sake at $1? To find out this question, I have to spend $500 buying every classification sake in the local liquor store.
And for God's sake, don't pronounce sake. Alright folks, let's start with the OGs of sake, Junmai and Honjozo. Junmai literally means pure rice. No additional alcohol added, just rice, water, koji, and yeast. Let's give it a try, shall we? Probably not a good idea to start drinking at 9 a.m. in the morning. But that's a great sake. It's sweet, rich, fruity, floral, and this misty taste also added another layer of depth to the sake. Very easy to drink, like sugary water, with a hint of alcohol in my opinion. But again, I'm a pretty heavy drinker, so Junmais in general are recommended to be paired with hearty dishes like yakitori, grilled fish, or I dare say, pineapple pizza. I actually tried pairing with pizza once. Let's just say, the pizza cried, the sake cried, I cried. Like Jesus Christ himself, I reached enlightenment through immense bodily suffering. Not really. Can't say I recommend it.
Now meet Honjozo. The rice is polished up to 70% or less. But this time, a smudge of brewer's alcohol is added.
It's not really cheating. It's more like adding a hot sauce that just makes everything pop. Oh, it's definitely more clean. It's more refreshing. I'd say it's a great drink for summer. The taste is more refined. It's got a subtle notes of floral or fruity. Very different from Junmai's. It's not as sweet. So Honjozos like this are recommended to be paired with light seafood dishes like sashimi or fish. Nothing that heavy to mask its gentle aromas. Now we got the basics down. Let's move on to the next section. I promise I won't get tipsy, which I kind of already is. I don't always drink sake, but when I do, it's for the sake of my own anxiety. This are Tokubetsu Honjozo and Tokubetsu Junmai. Tokubetsu means special, so it's a special type of sake that made with non-traditional style of brewing. It's like the VIP pass to a concert. This one is a Tokubetsu Junmai. The sake either has a special brewing method or a higher rice polishing ratio than your standard Junmai, often up to 60% or less. And this one here is exactly at 60%. These tweaks usually leads to a more refined flavor and has more floral fruity notes, but still got that Junmai punch. It's definitely a lot different from the regular Junmais. It's not sweet, it's more refreshing. But it also got the subtle sweetness that Junmai sakes carry with them. But not as dry as, or not as refreshing as a Honjozo, but still a pretty solid sake. If you want a less rich but also sweet sake, I think Tokubetsu Junmai, or kind of Tokubetsu Junmai. Junmais like this are recommended to be paired with grilled fish, hearty dishes. Now meet the Tokubetsu Honjozo, a special twist on Honjozo, like limited edition sneakers. Same rice polishing ratio as Tokubetsu Junmai, and this one here is up to 55% rice polishing ratio. But the dash of brewer's alcohol really gives it a more clean and refined taste. even though Honjozo is pretty clean already. I think it's more, it's definitely not as sweet as Junmai, and it's not as clean, as refreshing as a Honjozo, because the flavor gets a little bit more complex with Tokubetsu Honjozos. But it's definitely more floral, more fruity, like walking through a flower garden, rather than just tasting the aromas of flowers and then this kind of Tokubetsu Honjozo is recommended to be paired with sashimi lighter dishes. Anything that wouldn't mask or ruin its gentle and refined flavors. So, these are Tokubetsu in a nutshell. Have you ever seen them? Have you ever tried them? Let me know in the comment section below. And before I get too drunk, let's move on to the next section of sakes. For the sake of sake, the sake's sake is sacramental. Wait, did I summarize better? Anyways, let's move to the ginjos. Ginjos literally means rice polishing ratio done to at least 60%. These sakes are like runway models with impeccable grooming. This is the Junmai Ginjo. It's basically your trusty Junmai, but with a stickier rice polishing ratio. And this one has a rice polishing ratio up to 58%. Let's try it. It's still pretty sweet because it's a Junmai sake, but the sweetness of the sake is a lot more refined. Instead of just being sweet, it's more fruity. It's like the difference between sugar and honey. Has a lot more depth in flavor and taste compared to just Junmais or Tokubetsu Junmai. And a sake like this is best paired with sashimi, sushis, lighter dishes that really brings out its flavors. Next up is Ginjo. Similar polishing ratio to Junmai Ginjo. But again, a dash of brewer's alcohol is added for an extra flavor. And this one has a polishing ratio up to 60%. Think of it as Junmai Ginjo's fanboy cousin, but with an extra oomph. Compared to tasting like a fruit, this one tastes like a flower. In a good sense, because it's less sweet and more refreshing. The tastes are definitely more refined. It's recommended to be prepared with white fish, shellfish, or sashimi, or salty dishes like pineapple pizza. And here are the Junmais. If you want a sweeter sake, Junmai Ginjo. If you want a more refreshing but more delicate taste, this one's delicate too, but if you want a refreshing and delicate taste, Ginjo. Some say hot sakes are great, and some say cold sakes are great. I just say it's hot and cold, like that Katy Perry song. I'd love it to sing it for you, but we can't afford a Katy Perry or a lawsuit. Alright, let's move on to the big boys, the Daiginjo and the Junmai Daiginjo. We know these are the big boys, the top of the top of sake world when it comes not only with a bottle, but with a huge ass box. At this point, the presentation matters more than the sake itself. And this one, the Junmai Daiginjo, is one of the most sought after sakes at more than $300 USD, at like 50,000 Japanese yen, which is a crazy price to pay for a sake. Before we get into that, let's start with the Daiginjo. This one is called Kokuryo, and it's a pretty popular one, as I was told by the sake sellers. You can look at that. A Daiginjo like this is the most refined type of alcohol. And again, because it's a Daiginjo, it's not a Junmai Daiginjo, a touch of brewer's alcohol is added. Daiginjo means that the rice polishing ratio are done to at least 50%. And this one is exactly at 50%. It's gonna have a more complex flavor, a more refined flavor, compared to your ginjos. You have a more floral, a more refined aroma. It's actually a little bit spicy than your regular ginjos. Drinking this kind of sake is like unfolding an expensive bouquet with lots of complex flavors. And sakes like this are great for a special occasion, perfectly paired with lightly salted fish or lightly salted dishes like sashimi or white meat, I guess. White sushis, not white fish. Pardon me. This is the fanciest of the fanciest sakes. Junmai Daiginjo. That costs 50,000 Japanese yen. More than 300 USD dollars. That's why it came with a fancy box. At the price of 50,000 Japanese yen, it came with a pamphlet explaining why you should drink this sake. This bottle I have here has a rice polishing ratio down to 35%, which means you're paying for the absolute cream of the crop, plus a potential black hole in your wallet. And also, because it's a fancy sake, it's using a fancy paper for its labels. I say it tastes like a fresh mountain spring water, which still have this Junmai punch of your Junmai sakes. It's definitely a very unique taste. Tastes like a $100 Japanese grape. Not sure if it's worth it, but it's definitely a unique experience.
And there you have it, 8 Ming sake styles, each with its own quirks, flavors, and the food pairings to match. I personally prefer the Junmai type of sake, and I don't think spending big dollars on sake is worth it. It's only marginally better than the cheaper ones. And now, if you excuse me, I have a date with this bottle, and possibly my couch. Kanpai! Let's sip responsibly, and don't forget to comment below on your sake experiences. I'm always up for a spirited debate.